This is the kind of video I wish I saw years ago. I'm going to talk about my two best pro tips to actually become a professional vlogger and vlog full-time on YouTube. In case you don't know, I've been a full-time YouTuber for 10 years, and I've done a lot of vlogs. I said that, I've done a lot of vlogs, and it feels kind of amazing, I'll be honest, where I wake up, and I'm like, wait a minute. I also make music, by the way. So I wake up, I get to go to a whole new city, make videos about it. I get to do stuff, whether it's skydiving, traveling to Catalina Island, doing some parkour and some flips, going to a music festival, going to some crazy party, and that's how I make money. That being said, vlogging is extremely difficult on YouTube. I might say the two hardest niches to get into are vlogging and gaming, but if I had to pick which one do I actually think is harder, I'd probably pick vlogging for a few different reasons I'm going to talk about in this video. And the first thing I want to kind of talk about when it comes to vlogging, and I might as well say this as a side note, this video is going to be a very raw, unedited fireside chat style video. I like doing these because sometimes on YouTube, you see these videos where they're very fast-paced and jump cut, and they're like, hey, what's up, guys? For today, I'm going to show you 5 ways to vlog, and they get really into it. I like doing these videos because I want to make it as if it's a conversation. We're hanging out, and let's say we're hanging out, we're having a beer, or let's say you're just, hanging out in my place, and you're like, hey, man, I really want to become a vlogger. I really want to get into vlogging on YouTube. What are your best tips? And there's two main ones I'm going to get into in this video. But to take a step back, I want to talk about the issue with vlogging. And I think the main issue with vlogging is that a lot of vlogging, and this is important. I know it sounds weird to start on this point, but this is something, again, I wish I knew years ago. The main issue with vlogging I've noticed is that a lot of vlogs, not always, but tend to be POV style or point of view style, or basically first person. For me personally, low fun fact, these are my personal favorite videos to make, which is bittersweet because I love making them, but there's an issue with them. And that is people don't really get connected to you as much as a YouTuber. And here's a reason why. A lot of times when I've gone out, in the past especially, and let's say I go to a new city, and let's say I'm just going to a place where, hey, let me do a vlog of me bar hopping or bouncing around a given area. So, for example, I did one about Manhattan Beach, California. And I went out, and what I did is I filmed like this. By the way, I film all my vlogs, all my videos with my iPhone, and huge pro tip when it comes to vlogging, I have, of course, my phone case. I don't have any audio. I mean, when I'm filming a video like this, I have the Shure MV7 microphone, but I usually, in post, will add in music or whatever. But I have my phone, and there's something I wish I knew earlier, I have a pop socket on it. The things that kind of pop out, you can hold your phone like this, and what that allows me to do is pretend like there's a pop socket here. It looks kind of weird. When I go like this, it's way more steady. So it's supposed to be going like this with my phone. This, I find, is way better. Usually I have my thumb here too. Way steadier footage, way steadier, better for videography. I want to say that as a side note. And the problem with POV vlogs, jumping back to it, is like say I'm in Manhattan Beach, California, and I'm filming everything. I will do little snippets. So I will say in the beginning, like, hey, what's up, guys? For today, we're going to Manhattan Beach, California. So you'll see me in the beginning. But then as the video goes on, a lot of it, and this is the way I liked to make vlogs, is I want to pretend as if you're there with me. What would you see from your own eyes? As if your eyes are the camera. That's the way I liked to make vlogs, where I'll go out and I'll film something. I'll film like a bar. I'll do like one of those shots. If like I'm eating, I'll do one of these. So like I'll do all these different shots as if you're there experiencing it from a first-person perspective. Here's where the issue started to develop, though. I would do little pickups, I will say this, where I'm like, all right, guys, that was a great restaurant. What a good meal. Man, that chicken parmesan was amazing. Let's now go grab a drink. So I'll do little things like that. But the main issue, though, is that it becomes harder for people to connect to you. I even realized when editing a lot of my vlogs, even looking back in them, that some of my friends, like I was out with friends and we were bar hopping or doing whatever, my friends would be in the video more than me. Now, in some ways, I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. I don't mean this in a narcissistic way. Like, whoa. You got to look at me. But the problem is, it makes it harder and harder for people to connect with you. I heard this on a podcast. I think this is like a really good example or good analogy, and that is this. Kevin Hart, when starting out as a comedian, super talented, of course, huge fan of Kevin Hart. He had a mentor. I can't remember the mentor's name. But as you can imagine, Kevin Hart, almost from the get-go, was a really good comedian. And at one point, he did a stand-up show, got a standing ovation, crushed it, just murdered, just absolutely murdered. Classic Kevin Hart, right? And at the end of the show, he went to his mentor, and he said, oh, man, that was a great show. I crushed it. And the guy goes, not really. And Kevin's like, what do you mean? Everyone was laughing. I got a standing ovation. What do you mean I didn't crush it? And the guy's like, give me a second. He grabbed Kevin, brought him out of the stand-up comedy club, stood there with Kevin, and people would come out, be like, yo, man, great set, you're super funny, nice job, blah, 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 blah. And what would happen is the guy said to people, hey, by the way, what's his name? And everyone would be like, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. And then the guy would turn to Kevin and said, hey, that's the issue. You got to make things more personable. Have people relate to you, because if they don't remember your name, you're not going to make it, right? And as we all know, if you've ever seen Kevin Hart stand up, a lot of it is very personal. He talks about a lot of his personal life. Likewise, I realized with my vlogs, if someone had to ask me or ask you after watching, like, say, one of my vlogs that's POV style, well, what did the person look like? What was his name? Blah, blah, blah. People might not remember, because 95 or 90 or 99, depending on the vlog percent, most of the vlog, almost all of it, was of the place that I'm going to, which was the point of the video, of course, because I want you to experience, like, say, Manhattan Beach in a first-person view format, but it makes it harder for you to relate. And I think the harder it is for someone to relate to you, the harder or the longer it might take for them to subscribe and whatnot. I think this is a part of YouTube. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of vloggers who do very well. There are some vloggers, like I'll say for me, there's a lot of vlog videos I've done that have done extremely well on YouTube that are that format. But I do notice it might be harder to gain subscribers and gain a following. So with that being said, I do want to mention that. I know it seems like I was rambling, but it's very important for this video. There are 2 pro tips I'm going to give you when it comes to vlogging. One is in some way, shape, and form to do what I'm going to say in the beginning, and this is something that I would suggest if I had to do this all over again and try to become a full-time vlogger again, do a video like this. Do a monologue style format where I'm talking to the camera and have voiceovers on top of it. I think this is the best way to do it. That way, you can go, let's say, to Manhattan Beach, film everything, film your food, film the drinks, film the beach, film the pier, film like the scenery and everything. So you can do it still POV style or first-person viewpoint style, but the production of the video is almost flip-flopped. Whereas opposed to me just going out and filming and everything, it's almost the opposite, where I'm like, hey guys, so yesterday, I went to Manhattan Beach, California, and I gotta say, I loved it. The first place I went to, and as I explain what happened, I had voiceover. So I'm like, the first place I went to was Culture Brewing Company. Some of my favorite beers in the LA area, phenomenal brewery. Then I went and I grabbed some, and as I'm explaining this, I have different shots of Culture Brewing Company, which you can see. And I think this is a good way, because although some people might count this as a vlog or not, I actually think this is the best way to get started on YouTube when it comes to vlogging. I start there because the reason why is people have to look at you. They have to get to know you. And similar to that Kevin Hart example, the more they see you talking with these voiceovers, the better you're going to do. And I've studied a lot of YouTubers. I think, being a YouTuber, a full-time YouTuber for about 10 years now, I've studied a lot of YouTubers. And what I've noticed is the ones that really do blow up, the ones that are really big, especially even when it comes to vloggers, is ones where you see them most of the time. Gamers blow up, like PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Moist Critical, aka Penguins. These people blow up because you're seeing them the whole time. It forces you to really have that kind of connection, that human interaction. And I think this is what causes people to connect with them, really align with them, watch other content and more. But if you're doing vlogs POV style, it's really hard for people to connect with you, even if your video is amazing. This is something I learned the hard way. Now, when you look at big vloggers like Logan Paul, I'll use him as an example. Here's something that he does that's tricky for us, if I'd word like that. He has a team. So if, like, say you have a homie who's a really good friend and you want to pay him like 10 or 20 bucks an hour, that's not a bad idea. That, like, say he films you walking around Manhattan Beach. He films you having a beer. He films you. No, good. You could do all these things like this and maybe film it yourself, but I think it's a little harder when it comes to the videography, to film yourself doing everything. So one option I will say, if you are trying to get into vlogs, like I said, one, do the monologue style format. Like I said, like I'm doing now with voiceovers. I think that's the easiest way for, like, say, a one-man or one-woman show when it comes to YouTube. Another option is you have a team, or you have a friend who just films you doing everything. A bit harder. Because for me, too, I'll be honest, there's been some times where I had my friends get a shot for me, and I look back at the footage, and I'm like, oh, that angle is horrible. And now I have to almost become the director. When I'm like, hey, man, can you stand there? Can you angle it up here? Make sure you get this, but also make sure you get, and I start having to, like, direct them. And granted, I guess if I'm paying them, it's a little more understandable, but then it's like, it becomes kind of a tricky thing. So for me, I think for most YouTubers, until let's say you blow up and have like a team, like Logan Paul has cameramen follow him around and he has an editing team and everything, until you get to that level, I do think it's easier when it comes to vlogs. Like, let's say you just went to a music festival. I would sit, like I'm doing now, and say, hey guys, so last weekend I went to EDC Las Vegas. Here's what the experience was like. So first off, and then you recap everything in your own words, and then you add in all the footage that you took, because you know the right angles, you know the best shots, and then put them in the video. That is the best way to approach it. That's the first tip I'm going to give you when it comes to becoming a full-time vlogger. Second pro tip I'm going to give you, and this is a big one, I think this is why vlogging is also, I think, a hard thing to get into, SEO. And the reason why is this. When it comes to educational YouTube channels, the big benefit that they have, almost right off the bat, is that they're making content about things that people are already searching for. A big thing I like to think of when it comes to video is, one, value. What value am I bringing somebody? But two, even deeper than that, why would someone want to watch my video when they don't know me? Most people who might watch your video are not going to know you. Now, if I'm teaching you something, it makes more sense. Like on this channel, for example, I have a bunch of iMovie tutorials on this channel, for example. You don't have to know me. You don't have to care about me. You don't have to give a sugar honey iced tea about me, if I'd word like that intensely, to watch those videos, because you're like, hey, I just want to know how to add music in iMovie. I just want to know some beginner iMovie tips. I just want to know how to do XYZ in iMovie. So you'll watch my video, even though you don't know me, even though you don't care about me, because you want to get the information, and it forces you to watch the video. The problem with vlogs is, like, if let's say I'm like, hey, I'm going out today, or let's say I'm doing a vlog where I'm like, I can't believe this just happened, or never eat bananas on a Tuesday. That's actually a pretty catchy title, never eat bananas on a Tuesday. But if you don't know me, it might be intriguing, but you might be like, why do I watch this random dude just go out and party? Like, what is this doing for me? That's a bit of an issue with vlogs, and that's why it's very difficult. And don't get me wrong, yes, there are some big vloggers, David Dobrik, Logan Paul, the list goes on, that people do watch them. Emma Chamberlain, of course. These are big vloggers that people watch because they already love them. But in the beginning, when you're just starting out, no one knows you. And I don't mean this in a harsh way, but I think this is a good perspective to have. No one cares about you. And I don't mean that in a harsh way, but I think it's a good angle to have. Be like, okay, no one cares about me, but how do I make them care? And the big way that I've done for my videos that's done extremely well is SEO. And that is it. So, for example, if I did the video about Manhattan Beach, I'll keep using that as an example. And the video titled something along the lines of like, Manhattan Beach, California, this was such an amazing place, or such an underrated place in California. Or I did one in Colorado. There's an area of Colorado called Evergreen. Beautiful. Beautiful, small little like town in Colorado. And it says something like, Evergreen, Colorado is such a beautiful area. Now, what's good about that is, one, people are already searching for Evergreen, Colorado, Manhattan Beach, California, Hermosa Beach, California, Catalina Island, etc. The list goes on. So one, with the title, you might find my video because people are already searching for that, right? Like I said, with the educational example, people are always going to be searching for iMovie tutorials, for example. So in this case, when it comes to Evergreen, Colorado, just keep using that as an example. One, I have it in the title. But two, the way the title is structured, I get a lot of new subscribers from that video, the Evergreen one and the Manhattan Beach one, because even if you don't know me, even if you don't care about me, you might still watch that one. You might still say, you know what? I don't know who this my name is Mark Ferchero, but a lot of people can't pronounce it. So they might say like, I don't know who this Mark Ferchero guy is, but he did a video about Evergreen. I've always wanted to see Evergreen, Colorado. I'm considering moving there, or I'm considering visiting. Let me watch this video. Oh, you know what? I always heard Manhattan Beach, California was really beautiful. Let me watch this one random vlog about it so I can actually see if it's worth checking out or not. You know what? I've always wanted to go to Marina Del Rey, California. I've heard a few things about it. Let me watch this video. And because of the SEO, one, you're able to get traffic from things that people are already searching for, which is why I suggest put the place, the thing that you're doing, like say EDC Las Vegas should be in the title if you're doing a video about that, or Manhattan Beach, California. Or let's say you're going to an event, I don't know, some kind of like you're going to VidCon, for example. Make sure that's in the title, because that way you're going to get traffic because people are already searching for those things. But two, it also gives people a reason to watch it, even if they don't know you, and even if they don't care about you, because they want to see, what is VidCon like? Maybe they want to see what they missed. Maybe they're just kind of curious about watching it for whatever reason. They're like, oh, what is VidCon even? I've heard about it, but I don't really know a lot about it. Three, maybe they're considering going. And they're like, all right, let me watch last year's VidCon to see if it's worth me spending that money to go for this year or Comic-Con or whatever the case is. So the two best tips I'm going to give you with all that kind of I've mentioned, I know, again, a lot of kind of all over the place on this video, but I really want to give you all my best advice that I really wish I knew earlier. And the first thing to say, starting off with the negative point, to recap, POV vlogs are very difficult to get big with because people can't really connect to you. Even if you do SEO, which is something I do a lot, it's still sometimes very difficult to people to difficult for people to connect to you or connect with you, excuse me, because they're not getting that face-to-face interaction. Like I said with the Kevin Hart example, are people going to remember your name after that video? More likely than not, no. So my two best pro tips are, one, film it in a monologue style format. People are way more likely to relate to you, to understand the way you talk, to kind of build a connection, have that human, empathetic connection with you if you do a monologue style format like I'm doing now with voiceovers about the event. And the second thing I suggest is a lot of SEO. That way, one, you're getting traffic from things that people are already searching for, like I said, but then two, it gives people a big reason to watch your vlog.